feeling overwhelmed by your daily tasks. Maybe like you're constantly giving, 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 but not really getting much back.
It's a really common feeling, isn't it?
Totally. Well, today we're diving deep into something ancient that might offer a fresh look. It's called Yajna.
Yeah, and this actually came from a listener request. They wanted us to explore Yajna, specifically how Swami Vidyatmananda explains it in his YouTube lectures.
Ah, the ones on the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 8.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So we're digging into his interpretation.
Okay, cool. Because when I hear Yajna, my first thought is, those big Vedic fire rituals, offerings, chanting, the whole community involved.
Right, exactly. And they were huge, socially, economically, even intellectually central back then.
But that's not quite what we're focusing on today, is it?
Not entirely. What's really fascinating and what Swami highlights is how Lord Krishna takes that traditional concept in the Gita and kind of reboots it.
Reboots it? How so?
Well, he shifts it from being this specific external ritual to becoming a universal principle, something about how we act in the world every day.
Okay, so that's our mission then, to unpack that transformation, see how it becomes relevant for, well, us.
Precisely. Using Swami Vidyatmananda's insights as our guide.
So where does Swami begin? How does he frame this whole thing?
He starts right at the core, really. Unhappiness. He says the fundamental problem for pretty much every human being is sorrow, grief, that feeling of something missing.
Yeah, that resonates. And we spend so much energy trying to fix the outside stuff we think is causing it.
We do. And the Gita uses Arjuna's story. He's on the battlefield, totally grief-stricken, facing this impossible choice.
Right, his despair feels very real, very human, even in that epic setting.
Exactly. It mirrors our own experiences of sadness and confusion.
And Swami says happiness isn't something we need to get.
Right. He frames it as our inherent nature. It's already there. Unhappiness, he says, it's like clouds just temporarily blocking the sun.
Huh. So the goal isn't creating happiness, but removing the clouds.
That's the idea. And the Gita, according to Swami, aims to guide us step by step away from unhappiness to uncover that inner joy.
Okay, so how does Yajna fit into removing these clouds?
This is where it gets interesting. Krishna tells Arjuna, perform your duty fight, but do it as Yajna. That changes everything about how we see action.
Action. Because Swami also points out that action is better than inaction, right? We're always doing something anyway, trying to get away from feeling bad.
Constantly. We're always acting to become free from unhappiness. But here's the twist Swami emphasizes.
Good job.
We usually think the cause of our sorrow is out there, the situation, the person, the task itself.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
But Krishna suggests, through Swami's reading, that maybe the cause isn't the action, like fighting for Arjuna. Maybe it's the attitude behind it.
Ah, okay. So it's about doing what you have to.
Your duty, yeah.
But without getting all tangled up in whether you like the outcome or not.
Exactly. Because pleasant and unpleasant are often just our labels, our interpretations. Swami really stresses this.
We have the responsibility to act, but the result. That depends on so many things we don't control.
Precisely. So don't beat yourself up based on outcomes. Judge the effort, the intention.
So this is where Yajna gets bigger than just the fire ceremony.
Much bigger. Krishna broadens it, as Swami explains, to basically any action done with a spirit of offering. An offering to Ishwara, the divine.
So it doesn't matter what you're offering, like grains or ghee.
That becomes secondary. The key, Swami says, is the spirit, that feeling of offering, of letting go, of sacrifice in the action.
And what about all the different gods, the devas?
Swami clarifies they're seen as different facets, different expressions of the one Ishwara. So an offering attitude towards any aspect of reality is ultimately an offering to the divine whole.
Wow. That makes it incredibly accessible, doesn't it?
Totally. It's not just for priests or special occasions. It's for everyone, every day. Your job, chores, interactions. Anything can become yajna.
If you bring the right attitude.
If you bring the right attitude. The goal, remember, is freedom from sorrow. And Krishna's diagnosis of sorrow's cause is often different from ours.
And Swami brings up svadharma here too, right? Our own specific duty.
Yes, svadharma, your unique role, your qualifications. He points out how much unhappiness comes from just comparing ourselves. Why can't I be like them? Or their job looks easier.
That constant comparison trap.
Definitely. And this ties into a bigger picture. Swami paints the interconnectedness of everything.
The universe is a system.
Exactly. A deeply interdependent system. He says cooperation, not competition, is the underlying reality.
Like the body.
Yeah.
Swami uses that analogy, right? The hand helps the eye, the heart pumps for all.
Precisely. Each part works for the whole. Ideally, that's how society should function too, with everyone contributing their part cooperatively.
Because everything contributes to us. The sun, the rain, the food we eat, it all comes from this larger system.
So Swami suggests it's natural that we should contribute back. This give and take is the cosmic yajna already happening.
And Ishwara is.
The underlying principle holding it all together. The coordinator of this cooperation, like the thread in a necklace of pearls, he says.
So our job is to realize we're part of this, that our actions matter in this big web.
Yes, to understand that you're part of an interdependent whole where everything adds value to everything else.
Swami also points to nature, the sun, the moon, the elements. They all just do their duty, don't they, without fail?
They perform their appointed function, but humans, we have a choice.
We have freedom, and with freedom comes the possibility of messing things up, acting out of ego.
Exactly. Ego, self-centeredness can make us violate that natural cooperative order.
So the path back to happiness, according to Swami drawing on the Gita, is to do our svadharma, our duty.
With the spirit of yajna, doing what's right, what's needed, not just what feels good in the moment.
Ah, the short-term versus long-term thing. We often go for easy now, even if it means trouble later.
Right. Yajna encourages that longer view. Do what's truly beneficial, even if it's hard now.
And this connects back to the idea that the real problem isn't outside us.
No. Swami really emphasizes this. The cause of sorrow isn't out there, it's in here. An angry mind, a resentful mind, a partial mind. That's the enemy.
The mind is the cause of bondage and liberation, he says, quoting the scriptures.
It holds that power, which is why cultivating kindness, generosity, that spirit of offering, that itself becomes a powerful yajna.
Why? Because it changes the mind.
It helps subdue those negative tendencies. It shifts the inner landscape.
Swami even says just wishing well for others mentally is a form of yajna.
Yes, if done sincerely, without expecting anything back. It's about cultivating that giving attitude.
So literally every action is a chance, an opportunity to bring in this yajna feeling.
Every action becomes an occasion to invoke that attitude. It infuses the mundane with meaning.
And this is karma yoga, the yoga of action.
That's the essence of it, as Swami explains. It's not just what you do, but the inner freedom you maintain while doing it, staying free from attachment to the results.
Because expecting a specific reward, needing that personal pat on the back, that leads to trouble.
That's what creates bondage, Swami says. The expectation, the craving for a certain outcome, that's what causes the disappointment and unhappiness when things don't go our way.
So you shift the motivation away from the fruit of the action.
And towards the action itself, done as an offering. You do your best, offer the results to Ishwara, to the whole, and let go.
Wow. And Swami also mentioned yajna as offering ourselves our ego.
Yes, offering our limitations, our attachments, our aversions. It's a kind of inner purification through action.
Sounds like the whole universe is just one big continuous yajna then.
That's a beautiful way Swami summarizes it. A constant process of offering, sacrifice, interdependence.
He touches on the traditional 5 kinds of beings too, doesn't he? Devas, ancestors.
Right, the traditional Vedic view. Devatas, pitchers, ancestors, fellow humans, other living beings, animals, etc., and oneself through study, all interconnected.
And the idea that the creator, Prajapati, gave humans yajna as the tool for prosperity, like a wish-fulfilling cow.
Exactly. The idea was that through this spirit of offering, our needs would be met, both material and spiritual.
Because there's a mutual relationship. We nourish the devas, the forces of nature, through yajna.
And they, in turn, nourish and sustain us. A reciprocal cycle.
And the householder, the ordinary person doing their daily duties as yajna, actually sustains the whole system.
That's the traditional view Swami refers to. The 5 daily offerings, Pancha Mahayajnas, were a practical way to live this. Offerings to gods, ancestors, guests, animals, and self-study.
It reinforces that sense of being connected and giving back.
And the flip side, Swami notes, is the idea that enjoying the benefits of the universe without contributing back. Well, the Gita calls that being like a thief.
A strong word. And also, eating sin if you cook only for yourself.
Yeah, it emphasizes that lack of sharing, that disconnect from the spirit of yajna and interconnectedness.
It's all part of this cosmic cycle, this rhythm set in motion by Ishwara and guided by the Vedas.
And Swami suggests that living in this rhythm, with the spirit of yajna, naturally brings prosperity both worldly and spiritual.
It sounds like a very ecologically sound way of living, too. Being a contributor, not just a taker.
Absolutely. It fosters harmony with the universe.
And ultimately, Swami says, this path, living with the spirit of yajna,
leads towards self-realization, towards understanding your true nature and achieving liberation, moksha.
So practically speaking, how do we do this? Swami gives some pointers, right?
Yeah, he boils it down to a few things. Getting clear on the understanding first, really valuing this way of life, then consciously interpreting situations with the spirit, and finally working through our own inner resistance to it.
Okay, so the big takeaway from this deep dive. Yajna, seen through Swami Vidyamananda's explanation of the Gita, isn't just some dusty old ritual.
Not at all. It's alive. It's a principle for living a meaningful, happier life right now.
It's about changing our attitude to what we do, embracing that we're all connected.
And offering our efforts, our actions to something bigger than just our own immediate gain.
So for you listening, think about your day. That meeting, doing the dishes, helping someone out. Where can you bring in that spirit of offering? Contributing without needing something back right away.
Yeah, how can you shift even slightly from just focusing on what's in it for me to how does this contribute to the bigger picture?
And that connection Swami makes, getting rid of sorrow, is finding happiness.
Right?
It's the same process.
Right. How does understanding Yajna help you maybe chip away at what causes your sorrow and let that inherent joy shine through? It's a powerful question.
Definitely food for thought. And like we said, this is just scratching the surface.
Oh, absolutely. We really encourage you to check out Swami Vidyamananda's lectures yourself, maybe dive back into the Gita, see what resonates with you personally.
Yeah, what clicks. And maybe think about one small way, just one tiny step, you could start weaving this idea of yajna into your own life.
Well, thanks for joining us on this exploration. We hope your actions feel a bit more infused with this spirit of yajna,
Leading you to deeper understanding and hopefully more lasting happiness.